Countless women, children, and men go through gender-based violence and keep silent. And silence is no longer a choice. Simama, usiogope wewe. Simama, weongea wewe. Simama, usiogope wewe. Tukomeshe ukatili wa kijinsia. With yours truly, Celestine Kashohe, and this is episode 2 of Simama Talks. I'm so excited, and today I have a guest, a beautiful woman that is going to take us through gender-based violence in the world of people with disabilities. And I think this is a topic that we rarely look at, and I am so glad that someone mentioned it, and now we are here, and I'm excited to learn and also to see and to have a perspective of this other world of people with disabilities. So without further ado, karibu sana Judy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to meet you and to be in this session.
Karibu sana, and thank you so much kwa kuitikia mwito.
Thank you.
So kindly introduce yourself so that our audience can know who you are, what you do. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. My name is Judy Kihumba. Professionally, I'm a sign language interpreter, and I also advocate for maternal and mental wellness of deaf women. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I'm also in the disability world. Apart from just being an advocate, I am also very intentional in inclusivity. In 2022, I was named among the 100 women in the world by BBC.
Wow,
in my work. Thank you very much. Yes, yeah, that's who Judy is in a nutshell.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes,
asante sana.
Thank you.
And I think I'd love for us to dive in directly. Sindio?
Yes, no problem.
Yeah. So you deal so much with people with disabilities and in this case women that are deaf. So when we talk about gender-based violence, would you say that gender-based violence is different from, you know, able-bodied compared to people with disabilities, in this case with deafness? Yeah.
I would say I'd first talk about women with disabilities in general, because they have, despite being in different categories of disabilities, first they're women.
Yes.
Before they, and we know gender-based violence mostly affects women.
Yes.
So they're, by that nature, they're affected. But now they're affected in a double way, because apart from just having being a lady or a woman, again, getting a disability is a double layer of the struggle you're going through. So they go through struggles differently from able-bodied women, I would say that. First, because the society stigmatizes them and sees them like, even if I go to report a case that I'm going through GBV, by the time I go to the police station, they feel like, oh, it's okay because you have been on that wheelchair, or you've been deaf, or been in that condition you are in. It's very hard for any man to come meet you or to have a man around you. So most of the times that they may not say like you're being supported by going through whatever you're going through. Because again, if you leave that man, or if you went through rape, or you went through whatever form of GBV you went through, it's good there's a man who saw you, because in your disability, who would see you? So sometimes it's seen like that. So most of the time, they fear going to report because of that challenge. Again, for the deaf, it becomes, I think, a double stigma apart from being a normal disability, any other disability, because majority of people with disabilities can hear. Even if I'm on a wheelchair, even if I'm blind, even if I have any other condition, even if it's albinism, I can hear. But now the deaf are more disadvantaged, more than others, because, again, communication barriers. Even when they go to the police station, by the time they're trying to express themselves, and sign language is not just gestures. The way sometimes I see when in the police station, them thinking they understand what the deaf are saying. Sometimes it's not just the gestures they think. It's a proper communication. The way me and you cannot communicate, if I was to speak in my mother tongue, maybe we would not communicate.
Yeah.
But if I speak the way we are speaking a language that you can understand me, it becomes easier. So that's the same thing with the deaf. That's why the stigma is more. Okay. Again, even limitation of information. Right now, even if I was not ready, or even if I was not just going out to get information, I may be seated in a matatu and there's a conversation on the radio talking about GBV. Oh, that's something I'm going through and I never knew it's GBV. Or that's something happening, especially the emotional one, where you're not sure what is being done to you is right. So most of the times, the deaf are more limited because sometimes they think this is the normal way of life compared to any other disability, any other challenge because of communication barriers.
So what you're saying is that we could be creating awareness.
Exactly.
And we are trying our best, but there's no inclusivity for women who are deaf or men who are deaf because you know, GBV affects both women and men.
Yes.
So now that we are here and we know really we don't have inclusivity, like ukipata place yenye kuna mtu mwenye interpret anafanya sign language, okay, you don't find it even in events. You don't find it. But what can be done so that we can include them? Because this awareness we are doing is for everyone, because everyone is subject to gender-based violence. Yes. What can we do so that everyone, including the deaf women, the deaf men, the deaf children, for them to learn? What can we do as a community?
I think first is to create whatever the information we're releasing, let's have them in mind. Let's train them to be part of the advocates, to know, to train others, to speak to others and to tell others this is what is happening and this is not what should be happening to you. For the young girls, we do mentorship programs and we go to schools and we hold especially school holidays. We have time together with them to understand some of these things they may be going through. It's GBV in a different way. Yes. Some they may not be aware. But when we are intentional in training them and telling them and speaking to them, it is possible. That's where we start. Yes.
Now that we know what we can do, training them when they are young, talking to them, and also when we are doing stuff, not sidelining people with disabilities. But I'm not excusing anything, but I think it's we are oblivious. It's like we are not aware of the fact that you know what, kuna watu wenye ni deaf, and by the way we need to bring them together because the majority are able-bodied women and men. So now we need to know and include them in every conversation that we have.
Exactly.
Whether ni TV kwa conversations, let's have them. Let's hear their perspective. Let's hear what they are going through. Because if we do not train and even bring the whole awareness to them, really tutakuwa tunasaidia watu specific. It's like we have sidelined them. And again, I would say, even in the world of content creation, tell me how many are thinking about, I can have a sign language interpreter in my stuff. I know, because the communication runs across. Because a deaf person may be on the phone or social media and they can see, oh, this information is mine because there's somebody who is intentional in communicating to me. Yeah. I think what has just come into my mind is, I pray that, you know, with the whole world of AI, I don't know if that's something that will come. So that even if you can't get to someone that can, maybe someone like you that can do interpretation for us, that we can have an AI that is doing sign language. So ukifanya video hapo, there's an AI doing the right things to explain things. Yes. And I pray that that time comes. So tell us, what are the unique challenges that, in this case, allow me to keep on deaf women. What are the challenges that deaf women and men go through trying to escape an abusive marriage or an abusive relationship or an abusive or narcissistic person? What are the unique challenges that they go through?
I'd say it's a bit unique compared to the able-bodied, because most of the times they're not aware. I would say that most of the times I know I'm going through, I'm being oppressed, I'm going through this. But even if I leave this place, or I leave this home, or I leave this environment, where else will I go where people understand me? I would rather stay with this person who understands me despite what they're making me go through.
Oh my goodness.
So, and in the deaf world, again, it's a silent world. So it's not like I will come here and tell you, you look like there's a problem. Even if I tell you that you look like there's a problem, you're expressing back to me and telling me, yes, it's true, this is what I'm going through. For them, by the time they are communicating back, the information is different. And the person who is asking this question must be, again, be intentional in understanding or writing down. Because again, it's not the way I'll express myself. Again, I said the biggest challenge of deaf people is communication. It's sign language, because if the 90%, I would say 90% of even the families, the relatives, the close friends they live with don't know sign language. So they may be speaking of something and the other person is understanding something different. And now I have a case of a deaf girl she's expectant, but the husband doesn't understand the needs of an expectant woman, you know. So sometimes she's voicing this and he's voicing this. It becomes a big challenge within the two. So there are a few things that if both of them were brought together and this is how you should handle this person. It's not that they're pretending not to eat this to you know, those few challenges, those vomiting. No, when she sees me, she just vomits. And that's not the thing. The man believes she vomits because she doesn't like him. You see, those misunderstandings, sometimes it's because nobody sat them down. And some of this information, nobody took you to school. You learn on the environment, you learn from friends, you learn as you grow, you learn, you go somewhere and you hear people talking about pregnancy, you're like, oh, you go somewhere, hear people talk about GBV, you understand, oh, so this is how things are done. Again, there's this, because of their challenge, you find even the society, even if they go to the hospital, how are the healthcare providers helping them? They don't know sign language. I've been I think in my hands, I have been in very many delivery wards helping deaf moms to give birth, because again, you can imagine when a mom is in the hospital giving birth and the nurse is trying to tell, the midwife is trying to tell this mom, push or stop pushing. And they're not communicating. So she's pushing and this one is thinking, why is this girl so hard-headed? We'll slap this person. Why do you want to kill your baby? In the process, both of them are not communicating. So there's a lot that we need to do, starting from our families, starting from the very support system of the society.
So what I'm getting from you is that we all need to be intentional.
Yes.
And it's being intentional, whether you like it or not, just for the sake of the people, for the sake of inclusivity. And you know, these things we don't see them until now. We hear from you and we hear the challenges.
Yes.
I can't imagine, like, delivery, you're supposed to push, you're not supposed to push, chaos and all that, and there's a life that is coming out.
Yes.
It's very, very chaotic. And I would want to encourage all of us to be intentional, and also intentional in listening, in seeing, in this case, if you can learn, let's learn even the simplest of sign language.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing the unique challenges that, you know, people go through, deaf people go through, especially when trying to escape narcissistic people. And let's talk about the children. Let's say there's a deaf mom or a deaf dad, and they have children, and the children can hear. They can hear, they're able-bodied, everything. And there's domestic violence. What are the unique, we just had a session and there were the challenges that children go through. Are there any unique challenges that children in such setups go through?
I'd say it's very challenging for them first, because the language of they speak sign language as their first languages, but you see it develops with time. So sometimes they're not able to fully understand what is happening between mom and dad. And I have a case where I found, and these are children I have worked with, where the mom and the dad, they're both deaf, but the man is very violent to the wife. And at this point, one point, this woman decided, let me go out and look for help. And she came to my office. And when she was coming to my office, she was coming to my office to look for help in terms of, we've no food, and this man is not providing. So we supported her, and she didn't have enough clothes. We gave her clothes, and she went home. And she went dressed in one of the clothes. And in our office, we had been donated for a wig. And so she wore it, and she looked very beautiful.
Wow.
So she went home, and this man thinks, seeing this lady coming from the door, there must be a man who is doing... Yes.
Oh, Lord. So
this lady, the man took the chain, the bike chain, beat that woman in front of the kids.
Oh, my God.
Took scissors, cut the hair, in front of the kids. The kids are not understanding. So it's one of the kids who was 9 years, went to the neighbor. Oh, the neighbor called us in the night. Now it's in the night. And this girl had to be admitted. You can imagine the chain.
Oh, God.
When we went to the police, because we had to go to the police said, hawa tumewazoea. Instead of thinking of a way to help them, to support them. And now you can imagine what these children are going through. Of course, she left that marriage, but the children, to date, are still traumatized. And this man, the worst thing he did was, I would say that was rape. Rape the woman in front of the kids. So these children stay with us forever. Sometimes we think the kids are violent. We think the kids are ill-mannered. They are not disciplined. But it's because of a mechanism, a defense mechanism they have to hold back what, like they don't want the society to see what they are going through, but they're using that as a way of defending themselves.
Wait, this man is the husband.
Yes,
is the father to these children.
To these children.
But this man can speak.
He's half.
He's deaf. Oh, okay, half.
Yeah. Okay. So he can use hearing aids but the woman is profound deaf.
That is so unfortunate for the children.
So I would say the children go through a lot of stigma, and rarely are we intentional even taking them through therapy, because that talk with the kids, because talking to them, letting them know and understand sometimes helps them to understand. So these things are not only for. It's adults do these things in different ways, but it is wrong. Talking with them and to help them remove whatever they may have kept within themselves.
Okay, you deal so much with maternal and mental wellness. And you've given us an example of in a delivery room, and there is chaos because people can't understand themselves, can't understand each other because of communication barrier. And what I'm getting here is that the biggest challenge is communication. Yes. Because, I'm saying this and you're understanding another thing. So what are the challenges that, apart from the delivery scenario, when you take these women to hospital, or even taking them to police, what are the challenges that you face that you're like, for sure, if I wasn't here, this woman could have suffered, or this man could have suffered? What are those key challenges that you faced?
I would say there are very many, because again, sometimes you may find a doctor or a nurse or a healthcare provider who is not ready to support, because there is that willingness. I may not be understanding your language, but there is that willingness of me talking to you and trying, either I write or I look for a way of, even if there is an interpreter, that's the word, even being patient with them. So sometimes they are ready to support the next person, not to support this one who is taking me for forever and I'm not understanding their language. So that's one big challenge. Number two, sometimes they see the sign language interpreter as the person. Like if there was a third person here, and you are the victim, and the third person is helping me communicate with you. Instead of addressing you to talk your issues, I'm addressing her to help me understand what you're going through. Sometimes they hold back, because if you're not communicating to me, why am I here? So those are the struggles. I have seen where even in the police station, the misunderstanding. I have a case of where a deaf girl is gang raped. And then when she gets out of this place, the first person she meets is a community leader who she tells her, I think, this is what has happened. And the person I identified had a scarf that looks like my dad's. But that was not the father. She just said the color. And then this person thinks, oh, kumbe it's the father. At that point, the father is in the house with a 6-year-old. And this girl is taken to the police station. They go write a statement without an interpreter. So it was a wrong statement. To cut the story short, that the community beat the father, you know, the mob justice, and the father was taken by the police, was remanded for 11 months, because until this girl gave birth, so that they do a DNA test to confirm this is not the father, he is not the father of the baby. And at that point, the 6-year-old who saw the father being beaten by the community fell sick, trauma, dies. So you can imagine the family disintegrates because of something small, communication. And this girl is taken to a rescue center where there is no sign language interpreter. So even her expressing, trying to say, I met her when she was giving birth. Most of the hospitals call me when they have deaf people giving birth. So I ask her, and who is the father of this child? She gives me a different story from what everybody else has, because we could communicate and understand each other. Now going to court, this matter kept being pushed because there was no interpreter at that point. I had to say, I am here. And when now the magistrate was reading the statement, and what I knew, there were 2 different statements. Until I intervened, that's when they got help, and the father was released. But you can imagine that father would have been sentenced for a case that he doesn't understand. He lost his job, he lost his family, he lost his child, because of something small that would have been, if there was a sign language interpreter, or there was somebody who could understand the communication. Because if this girl was given a paper to write on, not somebody else saying what I think, maybe it would have been different.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Communication keeps on coming. Communication. Being intentional. Being intentional to know that, okay, who you had to understand, yani, where can I get help? Can I call someone? Can I go on social media and search and see if we can, especially in matters like this. These are matters of life and death.
Yeah, sure.
These are matters that we shouldn't be oblivious of as a people, as a community. What are the mental challenges that these women, especially, let's say, the way she was pregnant, from day 1 of pregnancy to the last day that she gave birth, especially if someone is a survivor of gender-based violence?
It is bad because first you are not able to express yourself. You're not able to say or to tell anyone what you think, how you feel. And at one point, she was suicidal, but the home she was in, the rescue center, they were not understanding what she was going through. In that rescue center, they bring counselors and therapists, but they don't understand what this girl is going through because the communication is limited.
Wait, so they bring counselors and therapists who are not, they can't do sign language? Because
the home is for able-bodied, for hearing girls. So you can imagine they have put a deaf girl within that environment, and she is not able to express, even to hear stories from other girls, what they have gone through. You know, that is also therapy for them to understand, I'm not the only one here. This is what we are going through. So she thinks she has been put there alone, you know. So those are some of the struggles. And most of the times, it's if you're put in a hole, you stay there alone. Despite being anything else, that silence of being there alone makes you feel your mental wellness is not taken care of. So you can imagine for them it's more of a dark room because there's no communication. There's no communication around me. I'm not able to express myself. Even if I am going through a mental issue, I am not able to explain how I feel.
Yeah. So now that you've said that, mentioning a mental, you know, a therapist, and she was there, everyone was able-bodied. Are there specifically people that have done, or therapists that specifically deal with deaf people, like they can help, like e.g. that girl?
Yes,
they have specifically given their lives to that.
I would not say I'm one of them.
Oh yeah.
And I would not say we are so many, because sometimes I'm there looking, there's some there are times you feel I need support also, even as I'm helping this person. There are not very many, I would say, who understand sign language. And there's a call I'm calling even on the training colleges, the institutions to train, even as they train their therapists and counselors, they need to have a part of inclusion in them.
Okay.
Inclusion in terms of understanding disability etiquette and understanding the deaf world, the sign language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the challenges that deaf women especially go through when they're pregnant, especially if it's a victim from gender-based violence.
Sometimes I have observed, sometimes they hold to themselves. I've seen of a girl who has gone to the hospital when she's already almost due to give birth, because first, being that it's a victim, it's a rape case, or maybe it was something they had not consented, you find that they hold back. They think, this might be a bad dream. The baby may come out. They're trying other ways. Like the one I had who would every morning take conch tea leaves, believing that the pregnancy will come out because she doesn't want to keep this pregnancy. But in the real sense, they are not able to express themselves or even saying what they are going through. And by the time she was getting to the hospital, hearing that she's giving birth, she was really, actually she went through postpartum depression. Again, we had to come in. But the struggle is real for them, because first, even handling this child, who will I tell people who the father is? And there's that victimization of you are just misbehaving around and then you become pregnant. So they're not able to express themselves compared to the others.
Maybe you can touch on the challenges that language, the role of language, sorry, not challenges, the role of language and accessibility, especially in police stations, hospitals, just the community facilities. Yeah, the role of the language and accessibility. How is the accessibility in Kenya?
It's poor.
It's poor.
It's very low. And I would say, I keep thinking of, like, if you went to China, or you went to India, those are the languages that are very complicated, even to understand even one word. You can't get what they're saying. Or even Japan. So you can imagine if you are there and you want to explain something. You go even to the shop, you want to buy sugar. Trying to say, give me that sugar, and they give you something different. You have to keep pointing until they understand what you're saying. Sometimes it's frustrating. And you may give up. You can say, I can do without sugar anyway if I have to go through that struggle.
Oh my God.
I don't have to go to the police station if I have to go to keep trying to explain something that they're not understanding and they're not willing to help me. I am glad we have very few police men who understand sign language. Very few. There are less than 10, I would say, who I know I can count they understand sign language. So you can imagine with how our country is. Just 10 people will not help. So I think one of the biggest challenges I would say is that we need to be more intentional. In the hospitals, the same. You've seen very many deaf women go through miscarriage because they go to the hospital, especially when the pregnancy is very new, and they're trying to explain, this is how I'm feeling, and the doctor is not intentional, again, to even do those very many tests. They say, that should be malaria. They give you medicine, go, or
and you lose your child.
You lose your child. So again, that's and they're also being seen like they are burden. If you have to keep, I have to keep tapping you to help me. I have to keep calling you to help me. Sometimes I will feel like, am I a burden to you? So that's also another thing that they feel, and they withdraw. Most of the times, we think the deaf, and I hear this as a stereotype talk where most people say that the deaf are violent. The deaf are get angry very fast. But you can imagine you're in China, you're trying to explain yourself and to express yourself, and nobody's understanding, and they're not willing. Because again, there is that willingness. They're not willing to walk with you the journey or to understand what do you mean when you say this, what do you mean when and you can imagine a deaf person if they live within the family, and the family maybe nobody understands their sign language apart the homemade signs.
Yes.
So in a whole week, you've stayed in that house alone, literally alone. Until maybe wait for most of the times we go to church on Sunday, where you meet other deaf people. You don't even want to go home.
Because now you can talk. You're home.
You're home. You're trying to a whole week conversation. You can't limit within 2 hours. So that's one thing I have seen with time. When they find themselves together, they take for the longest time. Yeah.
So, Judy.
Yes.
Let's dive into support and allyship. How can we able-bodied people support anyone that is, disabled or people living with disability? How can we support them? How can we be an ally? How can the community be an ally to help them, to understand them?
First, I would say the people with disabilities are just like us. And first, we need to work with them to understand, how can I help you? Where can I come in? Yeah. Most of the times we make programs thinking this we are making for the people with disabilities, but in the real sense, we are not involving them to know what exactly is their need.
Oh yeah, that's a very important point.
Yes, because most of the times I think because that's a wheelchair person who is trying to climb there, I need to go push them without asking them, can I push you?
Yes.
Because a wheelchair, I keep telling people, a wheelchair is like part of your clothing. You see the way you have your earrings.
Yes.
If I saw your earring like it was falling off, I want to help you. I'll ask you, can I help you fix it?
Yes.
I can't just come fixing it without asking you. Most of the times, it's because boundaries, because it's part of their life. When we see a person who is VI or the blind walking with their white cane, we think you just go hold them and push them. You want to help them cross the road without asking them, can I help you cross the road? And if I have to cross to help you, how can I hold you? Sometimes we mismanage them, we mishandle them in the name of helping. And you are helping from a very clean heart. But that person, how are they taking it? Because they don't understand. So even as we make programs for them, for the deaf the same, before I can make programs that I need to have the deaf with me, I need to ask them, what are the needs? What exactly are your needs? Where do I come in? How do you think we can work this together? Because if I made a program without involving them, I will not go far. Because we will be thinking we are helping them, and maybe we are even doing it worse than they, because of that miscommunication again and many other mishandling of disability etiquette. So even as we handle people with disabilities, let's work with them. Let's involve them. As we plan for activities, can they be part of our programs? Even the events that we think, this one we just need a sign language interpreter. Can we include them to be part of the society as well? Again, I would say that also in the society, in the policy makers, before they make everything else and later they think, oh, we have people with disabilities, we need to start to have them in mind from inception of the idea, from the beginning, and understand this is how they do it. Can we have a few who can represent others so that even as we make these policies are not just for to make, just to be seen like we are thinking about them, and yet we are not involving them. So that's also another thing. Also, again, in our schools, let's start this communication from down there, below. I have my 6-year-old who is able to speak sign language from when she was 3. She speaks fluent sign language. My 10-year-old is a proper sign language interpreter. Why? Because I have involved them from when they were very young. They have seen me in the deaf world, and we walk the journey together. If we had very many other, especially in our normal schools, to have like a syllabus that understands disability etiquette, these children, as they grow to different professions, they will grow knowing we have people that we leave behind. Can they be part of the society?
What I'm getting here is, especially when you say unaweza kuwa unasaidia mtu, like your intentions are pure,
yes,
but you do not know how to do it. It's better you ask. It's better you know, naweza kusaidia, naweza kupeleka hapa, naweza fanya hivi, so that even them they don't feel violated.
Exactly.
Because when you talk about mtu anaweza kuja kusukume, those are boundaries. And you've said some very important key points. Let's learn. Let's also be willing to learn and even ask. because tusijione mapro. Like I can help, let me help.
Yes, for sure.
But you know, can I push you? Can I show you? Can I do this and this? So that they feel, I think inclusion starts from there.
Yes.
Inclusion starts from, can I do this? Can I help you? Can I push the wheelchair for you? Because you said, when you talk about wheelchair being like a clothing or even the walking stick, the white for the blind people, it's something very intimate. So ukienda tu shike dada, people will feel manze.
Yes.
So asking, and even us as able-bodied people, to want to learn, to want to listen. Sindio?
Yes.
Yeah.
And sorry, before you...
It's okay.
There's something that I have forgotten, that it's a form of it's a form of an abuse that we rarely see, just there in terms of helping.
Yeah.
For like women with disabilities who are on wheelchairs, they go through another form of abuse that, like, I have to live here to town.
Yes.
By the time I'm getting to the matatu or even to the Uber, most of the drivers are men and I'm a woman. By the time maybe they have to lift me from the wheelchair to the car seat or to the matatu seat. The mishandling that happens around there, it's more of an abuse. But you can't really say, you can't even, sometimes they are done very bad things. They are mishandled, but they can't speak because if I shout, this is the person who is supposed to help me.
Yeah.
So there's also that abuse that happens that we rarely see, especially in our public transport. I think we need to create more awareness around that.
Yes.
To speak loud about wheelchair users. Yeah.
And it's so unfortunate.
Yeah, sure.
It's so unfortunate. And I'm loving this because now we can hear from you that you've dealt with these cases, so many cases, and we can hear and we can see, you know, let's be allies. Ukiona sijui mtu amebeba kutoka kwa wheelchair and amewekwa kwa gari and there is a mishandling, let's speak. We are speaking up and not hatunyamazi, because creating awareness alone can't help.
It can't.
Let's be a community that is looking after everyone, after people.
Proactive.
Being proactive. So that umeona mtu akifanyiwa hivi, why not speak? Why not say something?
Yes.
Even if it's the smallest thing, you have triggered something. You have triggered something in that person. Atawacha kufanya kile anafanya. So that this deaf person mwenye ana feel, wacha nivumilie because I need this help. Asikuwe helpless. Sindio?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So as we wind up, could you tell us an empowering story that has come out from maybe a deaf woman or a child, and now they're empowered from gender-based violence, being a victim, and now they are people you can say, wow, they went through this, but there's a success story for this woman or for this man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have very many, but...
That's amazing. Like success stories, I love it. I do.
Thank you. I go back to the story I had given you about this lady who was she even got raped by the husband in front of the kids.
Yes.
And this lady, we were able to help her to stand on her own. Right now, she's on her own.
Wow.
And she's working and very successful, supporting her kids very well, without like she has to rely on the man or on other people to support her. She's standing on her own. And I think the next time I'll come with her, so that you get to hear from her. And I have very many that we have walked the journey with, and because again, for most of them to just remain there is because of lack of empowerment.
Yes.
So we do a lot of empowerment programs to support them that they can stand on their own.
And God bless you for that.
Yeah,
you promised us that she will come.
Yes.
With a success story.
Yes,
with the woman
for sure.
that, went through a horrendous act and with the children. And I'm so glad that you have a lot of success stories. And karibuni sana. We will talk and then ukuje na yeye so that you can give other women hope that you can go through it, whether you're able-bodied or you're a woman with disabilities, that you can stand up and be empowered.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give us your parting shot and what you do, how people can get you, about your company. and, you know, invite people to come and get help from you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I said I work with Talking Hands. Our organization is called Talking Hands Listening Eyes on postpartum depression. As we said, we advocate for maternal and mental wellness. But apart from that, I work with very many other women with disabilities. And you can reach out to us through the social media. All the social medias, it's THLEP, THLLEP. Through all the social medias, you can find us there, or Talking Hands Listening Eyes.
Thank you so much for coming. Asante kwa kukubali mwito, and God bless you so much. You are very informative, and we can't wait to have you back so that we can learn more and more. And then utulete success stories. Not only that one, we want more, because
for sure,
it is our joy to know that there are success stories. People went through it and now they're empowered and they're doing beautifully in their lives. So asante sana, and God bless you. Thank you so much, guys, for staying in. Thank you so much. I hope you've learned, because for me, I have learned so much. I have been your host, Celestine Gashohe. This is Kiambu TV, Simama Talks. You can find us on our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Kiambu TV, and Celestine Gashohe on all social media platforms, and Simama Initiative on Instagram. If you have any question, there is a number on your screen. Call and interact with us. Or also you can get us via our email, gashohecelestine@gmail.com. This show will be running on every Tuesday and Thursday on Kiambu TV at 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And also on my YouTube channel, Celestine Gashohe, on every Wednesday and Friday. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Simama, usiogope wewe.